Hi, this is William from Great Affordable Watches, and today I'm gonna review the Zodiac Sea Wolf 53 skin. And this is a reissue of Zodiac's classic model with the same name. And that watch was released in 1953 alongside the legendary Blancpain 50 Fathoms. And the year after, Rolex released the Submariner. So, the Zodiac Sea Wolf was one of the first modern diving watches, and it got a lot of history behind it. The Zodiac was even used by the US military at some point, and it was also associated with the infamous Zodiac Killer, who apparently wore the Zodiac Sea Wolf. Fossil and this watch group bought the rights and the name Zodiac, and they brought back Zodiac with the heritage line. And the Sea Wolf 53 skin is one of the heritage models and one of the most interesting watches Zodiac produce right now. And as always, let's start off with some specifications. The case size is 39mm, the lug width is 20mm, the case thickness is around 13mm. It got a sapphire crystal, a unidirectional bezel with 120 clicks, and the in-house STP 111 movement from Fossil. And the STP 111 movement is a ETA 2824 clone, but some people argue that the STP 111 is the superior movement. I can leave a link to this down in the description. And it also got some minor decoration. It got perlage on the bridges, which I think looks great. And as I said, this is a reissue, and the original Sea Wolf looks almost identical to the reissue, but the size of the original was 35mm. So it was a very small diving watch, and that is basically the only thing that have changed when it comes to the looks. And it looks almost identical, but now with a more modern size of 39mm. The dial got the very typical Sea Wolf markers, triangle markers at 12, 9 and 6 o'clock, and the date at 3 o'clock, which is basically the same layout as the original. You could get the original Sea Wolf without a date as well, and in that case it got the triangle marker at 3 o'clock as well. But the date version, the original one, looked almost identical to this one. And of course we got the 120 click bezel, which is very solid. It's no play at all, and overall it's very satisfying to rotate it, and it's extremely clicky. Actually one of the most clicky bezel actions I have felt in a diver in this price range. And the retail price of this watch is $1,095 and the bracelet version retails for $1,195. So you're getting a lot of value for your money, but this watch can be had a bit cheaper on the used market. It also got a screw down crown and 200-meter water resistant, as it says on the dial. And the crown feels very solid, no wobble at all almost, and the winding action is very solid and very smooth as well. It feels great, and it's also very easy to screw it in, which is always a nice thing when you have a screw down crown. The case is polished on the lugs and brushed on the sides, and it got the sloping lugs just as on the original Sea Wolf. One of my absolute favorite things about the Sea Wolf reissue is that this is a very vintage inspired watch, of course, as it looks almost the same as the original one, but it's very tastefully done. It's almost like you went back to the 1950s or 60s and bought a diving watch of that era, because most vintage inspired watches these days got the fake lume and all that. I really like that look overall, but I think it's very refreshing to see an actual vintage inspired watch that doesn't have all the fake lume, fake vintage lume, etc. So I think this is a really good looking watch, and if you're looking for a vintage inspired watch that isn't too much or overly done, I think this is the perfect watch, perfect diving watch. The price of this watch is very reasonable considering what you are getting. The specs are great, the looks as well, and you got all the history behind the Sea Wolf line in general, even though the original Zodiac company is no more. I think Fossil have done a great job reissuing this watch. And you're also getting an in-house movement. And this watch originally comes with a NATO-like leather strap, which I exchanged for originally a tropic rubber, which I think looks great on this watch. And if you're getting this watch, I can highly recommend putting it on a rubber strap, as I think it suits the watch perfectly. But recently I put it on a pretty nice mesh bracelet, and I think it looks very good actually, and I really like the steel bezel and the mesh bracelet together. And as always, let's do a wrist shot so you can see how it looks on my 7-inch wrist. Be right back. Okay, here it is, and I must say I think it sits almost perfectly on my wrist. This is a very comfortable watch, and it's not too big or thick, and the size is almost perfect for an average wrist like mine. And I think the watch will suit a lot of people, both those who like a smaller diving watch and those who like it a bit larger, as this watch is not too small but not too big either. And it's very comfortable because of the very sloped lugs, and I must say I really like this watch. And these have become one of my absolute favorite diving watches in this price range, and this is probably one of the better diving watches you can get, especially with all the history, the great movement, and of course the great looks. This diver doesn't look like all other watches like the Rolex Submariner, etc. And this is a very typical skin diver, and the skin divers in general are among my absolute favorite type of diver, as I think they look fantastic. And this is a great example of a modern skin diver that looks great. And I would like to see more skin divers in general, because there are very few skin divers that are released these days. And another great skin diver is the Rado Captain Cook, and that is also a fantastic watch, and I will probably do a review in the future of that watch. And that watch and this one are among my favorite skin divers, modern skin divers I should say. So if you're looking for a diving watch that got a lot of great history behind it, is reasonably sized, it looks a bit more unique than your typical Submariner diving watch, and got great finishing and quality. The bezel is fantastic, the winding action is good as well, and the case finishing overall is very good in general. I would highly recommend this watch, and it's among my absolute favorite watches right now. And I think if you pair this one with a rubber strap, a tropic rubber strap, or a mesh bracelet like this one, I think it looks fantastic. I know they are pretty hard to get right now. I don't know if they stopped producing these watches or if just out of stock for now. But if you can find one with, especially with the black dial, I prefer the black dial version. I think you should buy it if you're looking for something like this. As I said, I will also review the Rado Captain Cook. That watch is a bit smaller than this one, but it's a great alternative and a great watch if you're looking for a smaller diving watch than this one. And as always, let me know what you think of this watch down in the comment section. I would love to hear your opinions about this watch and what you think of the looks and what you think of the watch in general. So thanks for watching, and if you like this video, please like and subscribe to my channel for more watch related content. And as always, thanks for watching, and I hope I see you in the next one. Bye.